guys. All right, we are live. Special edition of Champions League matchup. We may touch on a couple of other leagues in Europe. I have two special guests with me today, my boy Daniel and my boy Chuck. How you fellas doing today?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. I'm blessed.
Doing pretty well, man. Excited to be on your show.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm excited to have you guys here. So before we even started, we were actually talking a little bit about Chelsea, but it actually came up because we were talking about Europa League, which none of us have actually really been paying attention to too much, although I have, a little bit with Lyon being in there, given that I'm a big Ligue 1 fan. So I guess let's just start back with that conversation. Are you guys going to tune into Europa League at all, or we're just going to be fully stuck on Champions League?
For me, I'm a pick and choose which Europa League games I watch. I'm gonna definitely tune in to tomorrow's matchup between United and Lyon, because it's a couple Lyon players that I'm really interested in taking a closer look at.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we all like a good crash out on Man United, right?
Listen, you already know.
I was just about to say, as a resident Man U hater,
You already know, dog. Listen, I am all in for the hate watch. Yeah. Yeah. I am all in for the hate watch.
I mean, like we were mentioning, Lyon got some really good players. I mean, of course,
yeah, they do.
They're held down by Lacazette, Olympic silver medalist Lacazette, by the way, and
Olympic silver medalist. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Listen. Former Arsenal striker, former Arsenal number 9, Alexander Lacazette.
That's right.
Yeah. No, I mean it's one of those things where his stint with Arsenal was not as successful as fans hoped it was going to be.
I mean, he played with Aubameyang, right? Who got
he did. No, he did, and
until that fallout,
that whole sort of transfer period was weird because we got Lacazette in the summer, and he was supposed to be okay, the new center forward for the team, and supposed to come in and be a key cog of how we attack.
Yeah.
And it's he started off slow, the first couple months, kind of picked up a little bit, and was decent. He wasn't anything spectacular. And then over the January transfer window, I think there was kind of a market opportunity to get Aubameyang, right? It was one of those where I don't think he was available in the summer, but come January, whatever was going on between him and I think we got him from Dortmund. I think this was a move from Dortmund, if I remember correctly. But whatever was going on,
Dortmund.
Yeah. So whatever was going on there with Dortmund, created a market opportunity for us to go get him. And initially I wasn't sure because I was we already paid all this money 6 months ago to get Lacazette. Why go get another striker? And credit to Aubameyang, dog. He came in and he hit the ground running.
Yeah.
It was pretty much a case of Lacazette got relegated to second striker status. And
he was still putting up decent numbers. He was still getting 15.
He was putting up decent numbers. I think there was an expectation, especially considering the type of season he had at Lyon before we went to go get him. There was an expectation that he was going to come in and put up 20 plus goals a season. Yeah. And that's just not the return we got. But then again, the team was a mess. So I can't put that entirely on Lacazette. That team was just.
Yeah, I mean, and Aubameyang peak Aubameyang was just a better striker. So
for sure. Nah, for sure, for sure.
He was gonna be playing backup anyways.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
For
to
sure.
Chuck's point though, why bring him in if Lacazette was supposed to be like your guy, right? Like unless you're running a
Well,
weird like you're running two strikers at the top, which I'm not even sure would have been an effective use of Lacazette because Lacazette has to be like the main number 9.
Mm.
yeah.
And at least
So
that's what I've
from
seen him play over the years I've seen him play in Lyon. I just don't know what the
So,
thinking necessarily was.
from what I remember back then, Aubameyang played pretty much center forward and also coming in from the left wing for Dortmund.
yeah,
So he was pretty versatile. Obviously he was a very pacey striker. So I can see Arsenal's thinking, trying to pair him up with Lacazette. Maybe, or even kind of rotate them as well. Similar to what City was doing with Haaland and Alvarez initially. But obviously when you're playing in the Premier League, it's tough as a top team to play with two forwards in the Premier League, like two center forwards, the way teams set up. So
that's a good point.
Yeah. Most likely you playing with one center forward, and then you have some supporting, wingers or attacking midfielders. But Aubameyang, he had a pretty good run in the Premier
But it's interesting.
He had a pretty good run.
Those years with Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal was not good. I mean, we're talking 6th place, 5th place, 8th place, 8th place.
Yep.
I mean, it
was we were definitely like the Premier League banter club.
Pre Arteta. It's funny, when you guys had your struggles during this season, when you've had your struggles in the league during the season, I just kind of some blogs of Arsenal fans who seem to have amnesia about how things were prior to Arteta stabilizing the club. I'm like, come on, man. I get it. You haven't won the league, but it could have been a lot worse. You could be Spurs.
I don't trust those fans at all. Those are the worst type of fans, right? Because
we all have them.
They get on here and anytime the team struggles, it's bloody murder. Arteta out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, dude, it's so easy for y'all to forget that just 4 years ago, this team was barely fighting to qualify for Europe.
Fighting to qualify for Conference League.
Boom. Yeah. Fighting to qualify for Conference League. Thank you for the specifics. And so from where Arteta started with this team to where he is now, we've gotten better year over year. Every single year, you could see the progress. Every single year, you could see the improvements. Every single year, you could see us building towards something greater. And I feel like that particular subsection of fan, right? They're the type where they're always looking for something to complain about. You know what I'm saying? They are always looking for something to complain about.
Well, that actually I think is probably a good segue to go into Champions League right now and how.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, that was a fantastic spanking yesterday that we saw against the defending champions, Real. I mean, I'll let you tell it, but I mean, I watched that game and I saw basically the entire stadium come alive. I saw Declan Rice turn into probably the greatest midfielder if our generation, attacking midfielder at that. Who knew? Just give us a rundown on that game and just how I guess, I mean, were you surprised at how well they played against Real, or do you think this was like sort of like a flash in the pan type of thing?
So let me start off first by saying like that is without question the greatest European night the Emirates has ever seen. like that to me, like it. There is no other European performance we've had at the Emirates that has hit that sort of a high, right?
Yeah.
To say it was expected would be a lie. I think like a lot of fans went into the game quietly confident that we could beat Madrid, but kind of feeling like, okay, even if we did, it was going to be cagey, right? Like we expected, okay, what we're able to do with our structure and how we set up defensively and, you know, the ways in which we limit, you know, opponents of very few chances. We felt that like if we could limit Madrid, you know, well enough, we'd probably have like 1 or 2 chances on the back end to like get a goal, right? Like I feel like most fans thought, okay, this was one of those where like we'd win like 1-0 or something. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
or best case scenario, like a 1-1 tie or a 0-0 draw.
So I didn't think it was ever going to be 0-0 just because of the nature of how like Madrid play.
They barely
like
their defense is pretty bad,
and their defense
pretty bad this year with all of the injuries. But actually, I think it's funny because before the game, the three of us, we were kind of like talking about, you know, Madrid and Arsenal's chances. You know, we were talking about how bad Madrid just looked the last few weeks. And we were kind of like, you know, cautiously optimistic about Arsenal's chances going into the game.
To be fair, I did pick Arsenal from the jump because I was Real's defense looking hella suspect.
Like you said, I was still thinking maybe like, you know, you guys like squeak through, like, you know, like 1-0, like, you know, win by 1 goal.
Yeah.
And because I mean, one thing Madrid has shown in the Champions League is they have some kind of dark magic that they managed to pull out. Like they can be terrible, like 90 minutes. I'm not even saying 89. They can be terrible 90 minutes of a game.
They can terrible for 90 minutes.
To like have a few seconds and turn it up. And you can dominate them for 90 minutes and they'll play a good 1 minute and they'll win the tie. So as a City fan, I've learned my lessons with Madrid. So, you know, I was kind of, you know, don't mean to be a hater, but yeah, whatever. I enjoy that. I enjoy seeing Madrid get knocked out. Well,
no, they're not knocked out yet.
Lose the first match, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
you know,
as a City fan, again, like we've seen Madrid lose comfortably first match, and they're managed, you know, to come back. So
and then they managed to come back.
It's not over, but you know,
I don't. Here's my thing. I think it's over. I mean, even for them to even come back, they would have to go up 3-0, right? And pray that defense holds just so they
can score a goal. Yep. And
I don't see that happening.
So one of the strengths of like this Arsenal team under the Arteta era is that we have been so solid defensively.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like we are one of the best out of possession teams in all of Europe. Right. So I personally don't see a scenario in which we go to the Bernabeu, even if we lose at the Bernabeu. I don't see a scenario in which we lose by 3+ goals.
The best defense as well. Let's not forget that. Liverpool.
Yeah. So like I don't see a scenario in which we lose by more than 3 goals. Like no matter what, you know, sort of like dark magic or juju that like motherfucking like Real Madrid is gonna pull out their ass, right? But But people on people on Twitter were like, "Yo, listen, y'all are about to see rules applied to a football game that you've never seen before, though." They about
They
the,
sure
the,
gonna pull
ref-
out all the
the
stops, yo.
But even
Like,
if
like,
but here's the thing, even if they get
bruh,
fluky, even if
Rudiger,
they get fluky
Rudiger
with the
is tackling Saka like first minute of the game. Like
bruh,
two
bruh,
studs up, yo. Like he's
two
diving in.
studs into his motherfucking ankles first minute of the game,
Like
dog.
are you talking
Bruh,
about Kamavinga?
no, Rudiger. Like the
Rudiger, dog.
penalty.
Rudiger, yeah. I mean, Kamavinga was tackling people and not even
Bruh,
getting like a foul call. I mean, it was crazy.
Camavinga, dog. Like, I know he ended up getting sent off, but like, there's no way he should have made it all the way to the end of the game, bruh. Like, listen, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way.
Listen, I you know, if he's playing for your team, you gotta love him. But man, he was out there very aggressive,
Oh,
and it doesn't
listen.
even make sense why he was that aggressive, knowing that you already have a yellow card.
So here's the thing about it, man. Like, I think it's one of those situations where they put him in a lose-lose scenario, right? They're playing him next to, like, old ass like Luka Modric, who like does not have any legs left, right? And like they're playing Luka Modric in the like basically like in the defensive midfield next to Kamavinga.
Yeah.
So that meant that Kamavinga was not only having to cover his side of the pitch, he was also having to shuttle over and cover Modric's side of the pitch. You know what I'm saying? Because like Modric is not going to give you that pressing intensity. He's not going to give you like that ability to cover space. He just doesn't have the legs for it anymore. Right. And so what I didn't know prior to the game starting is I didn't know that Tchouaméni had gotten suspended. Because if I would have known that beforehand, I would have felt a lot more confident about us going through. Because like I think like that Tchouaméni Camavinga duo has helped Madrid weather some storms where like if one of them was missing, it would have looked so much worse for them. And so we met them at a time where, okay, it was just Camavinga there. There wasn't Tchouaméni there as well.
But not only that, anytime you see Modric starting a game.
Oh yeah, facts. Oh yeah. I mean, but like they didn't have any choice, right? It was either start Modric or start Dani Ceballos. So like they didn't really have a choice. Like either way, they was gonna be fucked.
Well, true.
You know what I'm saying? So
or put up enough goals to so when they get back to Madrid.
Yeah, honestly.
But even then, I mean, they not only did they not even score, right? I can make an excuse for probably giving up 2 free kicks because those were 2 of the greatest free kicks I think I've ever seen in Champions League, period, right? Then that last goal, I think it was Moreno.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you cannot give up that type of goal.
I mean, they
a man came off the bench and scored.
Well, no. So Marino had been playing the whole game.
Oh, he played the whole game.
Yeah. So one of the byproducts of the whole Kylian Mbappe experiment for them, right, is they could always cover for like Vinny not tracking back as much as he needs to, right? Like it's easy to cover for like one passenger on your team that doesn't press. It's so much harder to cover for 2 people on your team that don't press. And so the Mbappe thing is like you already got to deal with Vinny not tracking back and helping, the fullback. Oftentimes it was Jude Bellingham dropping out of midfield to double up on Saka with Alaba on that side. Vinny rarely came back to help. Now you also then have to deal with like Mbappe that doesn't really like tracking back at all, right? Like
this is a really good point because it was something that I thought about the entire time Madrid and Madrid fans had been clamoring for a Kylian Mbappe to come to Madrid, and I've always wondered how the balance of the team was going to be changed, with those 2 players who were very, very similar.
Yep.
Obviously, Mbappe can play more central forward, but he really likes attacking coming
From the
in
left
from the wing.
side.
Coming in from that wing,
Like he likes facing the defense. Most
Mm-hmm.
center forwards, are more comfortable with their back to the
With it
defense.
back to goal.
So they can bring the ball down, hold up, bring the rest of the team, and the way their team is constructed now, and like you mentioned, they're also not used to being the ones tracking. And that was one of the reasons, the Mbappe, Messi, Neymar trio
didn't work.
didn't work well in the
Didn't work.
because
Yeah.
you have these three stars who really want to control the ball. They want to they like attacking, they like being creative, but they don't like doing the dirty work. And in Messi's case, he was getting older. He wasn't Barca Messi. He wasn't going to be tracking back like that, making tackles. But Mbappe's never really been good at that. Neymar, surely not. So we're kind of seeing the same thing.
Neymar was probably the best out of those three.
No. Yeah. And that's the thing. Yeah. Low key, of those three, Neymar is the one you would see tracking back more often, which is crazy because it's like that's not Neymar's strong suit.
Exactly.
No, it wasn't.
So,
but Chuck, I kind of made this point to you earlier, though. I remember, I think I made to Daniel as well. I never thought the Mbappe thing was really going to work. And I thought, if anything, it took away from Bellingham's ability to score goals and to move up. But I'll let Daniel finish because he made a couple of good points.
No. I mean, obviously, if you look at last year, look at Madrid's performance and how well Bellingham played, it was a good point. I was kind of going to touch on that as well. Bellingham's role further forward has kind of diminished, right? Since, Mbappe joined the team. Now, Mbappe is a great player, so it's kind of hard to say, that he made the team worse. Obviously, maybe you can use some statistics at the end of the season, see how everything plays out. But
the midfield is also worse than last year.
Yeah, but I was thinking if they were gonna make something like that work, obviously Bellingham would have to play a lot deeper. And not go forward as much. And like Chuck mentioned, he'd have to, be engaged more on the defensive side of things because you have so many attack-minded players, and Madrid's always going to play with three forwards. You know what I'm saying? You have two wingers and the one striker. That's like Madrid DNA. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think they were going to change that, but for that to work, they would have had to be healthier in midfield and have Camavinga and Tchouaméni, sit back, and cover for the wingers who are not going to be tracking back. But the issue I've seen that they've had they had a lot of injuries in defense, and then they had to have Camavinga played left back. He's played left back most of the Champions League campaign. Tchouaméni had to play center back.
Play center back,
against City. So as you can see, and then they have Valverde playing right back. And the other midfield engine that they have. So I feel like their season has been kind of I'd say disturbed, not as free flowing as they would have liked. So maybe they'll bounce back next season, but right now the way it's going, they either have to have a formation change or
Well, you know what? Technically, their formation was a 4-4-2 in the last game, which really is odd. They had Mbappe and Vinny at the top. Rodrigo, Modric, Camavinga, and Bellingham. This is one weird looking formation.
So
four midfielders. But I think
started out as a 4-4-2 when they defended. Yeah. I think once they move into their attacking phases, it turned more into a 4-4. It turned more into a 4-2-3-1.
Now, did it
change once they started attacking?
Did it change after the first free kick? Because I'm wondering if they came in with this mindset, okay, let's at least hold Arsenal to maybe one goal. at worst, right? And then they changed it to a more of an attacking formation. Was that it?
Well, no. So what I'm saying is like the formation that they probably started in was the 4-4-2. The one that like they would then get into, like they'll start off in a 4-4-2 formation and then shift into like a more attacking like 4-2-3-1 formation whenever they had the ball and they were in possession driving at like the Arsenal goal. And then when they lost the ball, they'd come back into a 4-4-2 shape. Because like now, the way teams play now is like they have different formations and attacking and patterns for attacking and defending. So like you'll see a team that starts off in like a 4-3-3.
Yeah.
And when they attack, they'll basically send like 5 players up. And so then it looks like a 2-3-4, 2-3-5 or something like that when they're attacking. So I think with Madrid, they start off in a 4-4-2.
So they must have had Mbappe. So did Mbappe move to the middle and then Rodrigo moved to like that winger position? Or was it Mbappe moving to the winger position and Rodrigo in the middle? Either way, right? Doing that, I can see why Mbappe would not want to track back.
Hold on, can you guys hear me?
I mean, Mbappe, even when they're like in a solid 4-3-3, he really never tracked back that much anyway. No. Okay. Which, I think it's also a tactical advantage against most teams to keep Mbappe further forward, because obviously there's no better counter-attacking threat.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, looking at this now, and I didn't even know they started off this way. I would not have used this lineup against Arsenal. I probably would have swapped out Modric for
That's testing.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Oh, Mendy. Mendy, Chuchimani. Is Carvajal even played all season?
Testing.
He's still out injured. Hey, yo, Chuck, we can hear you.
Yeah, Chuck, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Okay, I don't think Chuck can hear us.
Yeah.
We're going to put Chuck on mute until we can get him back online.
Yeah. Something he might have.
Hey, can you guys hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
We can hear you.
Let's see.
Yeah, drop him a message in the chat. Just tell him like rejoin.
Let's see.
Maybe. Or probably his headphones. Actually, if you go to settings.
Is he on headphones?
It looked like he has earphones on, so I don't know. Right?
I can't really tell.
Yeah, if he goes to settings audio, he can choose. Well, I guess his mic. I'm just on speaker, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to give him instructions. I mean, the good thing is we can hear him. All right, so actually, I'm going to tell him to drop off and come back in. Oh, crap. I'm getting to the wrong group chat.
Cool.
I was wondering why he's not looking at my messages. Okay. Ignore. All right. Chuck, can you hear us yet? All right. Let's give him a few moments. But let's wrap up this matchup though between Arsenal and Real.
Predictions time.
Any chance Real comes back? Yes or no?
I'm gonna go with no. Why? Because they're just not as good as they've been in previous seasons. So I just don't see them beating Arsenal by more than 3 goals. So I'm gonna go with no. Arsenal
Yeah,
got it.
I'm gonna go with no as well. But a little bit more cynical than that. I just don't think they're going to score. And even if they do score, it's probably 1 or 2 goals at best. And that won't be enough.
Yeah, exactly. Like I just don't see them beating Arsenal by 3+ goals. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Actually,
let's go.
I can't remember the last time Arsenal got beaten by more than 3 goals.
It's been a while. I don't think it's happened this year.
Yeah, I don't think it happened last year either. So that's one of the things that I give Arteta props for. You know, he came in and
testing 1 2 3.
Initially,
we can hear you, Chuck. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. My bad. I think somebody tried to call me.
And your video, I think, is frozen.
frozen.
But we can hear you though, and you can hear us. So that's the.
All right, hold on. Let me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
I'd say just drop off.
But y'all can't see me.
Back in.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. Drop off and come back in.
All
right. So Daniel, let's move on to the next matchup, which on this picture, technically is going to be Bayern and Inter. Did you watch any of that game today by any chance?
No, I only saw the highlights, like the goal, goal highlights. I see, you have the circles drawn up. I'm gonna assume
of my predictions.
Your predictions. All right. Well, that's a spanner through what do you call it? Wheels, whatever. Yeah, Inter won the first leg. Were you expecting that?
No, I wasn't expecting them to win the first leg. But I also feel like they got that last goal is what put them over the top. I forgot who it was by. I sort of was watching like two different games. This game actually was on yesterday. So what happened is that Inter was up 1-0 for like the longest time, and then Bayern equalized. I want to say on a Harry Kane goal, and then Inter scored at the last minute. Let me see if I was correct. Yeah, they got their. No, so it was actually Muller. That's right, because I remember I mentioned Muller, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, what happened here?" Muller was actually about to leave. Well, he's going to leave at the end of the year.
At the end of the season. Yep.
Yeah, but it was Frattesi that actually scored the equalizing. The game winning goal in the 88th minute.
Oh, hold on. So it said that I'm backstage and only the host can see me.
Oh, yeah. I think Ed got to add you. I believe.
I got to I have to remove this other. Okay, so let me kick this one out, and let me put.
All right.
One in.
Am I on there?
Not yet. At this stage. Okay, you're on now.
All right, bet. Yeah. Apologies for the technical difficulties there. I think somebody tried to call me on the phone, so it like linked me to like my phone, kicked me off of here. It's a whole thing. But based on what you guys were saying, I think we're on to Inter Bayern, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So earlier on, if we predicted Bayern to win, and they probably still will win. If anybody has a chance to come back out of all these matchups, it's definitely Bayern, and I actually expect them to come back. God knows what will happen if it goes to penalty kicks, because that's always a crapshoot. But we were just mentioning that not only the equalizing goal by Muller, which came in the 85th minute, but then the winning goal by Frattesi. Yeah. So what happened, Chuck? Like did you watch any of the game? Like, did you see what happened?
Yeah. So from what I could gather, because like I was pretty focused on the Arsenal game. I tuned into the other game like intermittently. And from what I can gather, it was really a game in which Bayern created enough chances to win. They just didn't take them. Right.
Dominated possession, chances.
Yeah.
Had more
Yeah.
shots.
Shots on target.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Harry Kane did his usual a big game performance. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
That's sarcasm for anybody.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Harry Kane,
No,
you know, hey,
to be fair, though,
listen.
he had a good shot though. He had a close shot in the early part though, Chuck, and he missed it by like mere inches. So let's be fair.
In the early part of the game,
record. And
in the early part of the game, Harry Kane could have put them boys clean 1-0 through. You know what I'm saying? And like, unfortunately for him, it was mere minutes before Inter went down the other end, and Lautaro Martinez scored an absolute peach of a goal. That interplay between him and Marcus Thuram, like the touch that Marcus Thuram gave him to just cushion that ball in behind, ooh, that joint was crazy. But yeah, like it's Bayern had a chance, man. Like Bayern probably should have won that game. And like if I'm Vincent Kompany, like I'm looking at my players like, yo, what the fuck?
You know what? I actually think Inter is gonna win this matchup. And why? Because there's just something about how Italian teams play in knockout competitions. You know, obviously, like, you know, we've talked about Bayern dominated chances, possession, blah, blah, blah. This never seems to matter playing against Italian clubs in the Champions League. They're okay with conceding chances to you.
Yes, they are.
Because they're just okay with, like, you know, doing a smash and grab type of game. So I think Inter played exactly how they wanted to play. You know,
especially playing in Bayern, especially during that first leg. They played exactly how they wanted to play in that first leg.
Exactly. So, I mean, Inter would have been okay with the draw.
Yep.
Away to
Yep. No, facts.
Now they got to go back to to Milan, I mean, it's a hard game, and I think they're pretty much gonna shut up shop, and just play on the counter.
I don't know.
The San Siro is a tough place to play, bro. So good luck to Bayern if they think that they can show up. Oh yeah, no.
Bro, didn't Monza, the worst team in Italy, put up 2 goals in the San Siro like a couple of weeks ago?
Right. Listen.
When they're playing.
This is different, dog. When they're playing Champions League competition, it's a whole different ball game, man. Like, yeah, no. Like exactly what Daniel said. They're gonna go to San Siro. They're gonna shut up shop. They're gonna wait for the inevitable Bayern mistake, and like they're gonna pounce on that shit, bang a sneaky goal, and that's probably gonna be the end of the tie. Like Bayern's chance to really like get back in this tie, they need to score early. Take
to open that up.
Take Inter out of it early. Take their fans out of it early. Come in there, smash them in the mouth early, and you know what I'm saying that you might have a chance. If this goes on 70th, 80th minute, and you still ain't scored, oh nah, man, forget it.
Yeah, I
mean, forget it.
They only need to score one though.
Some desperation.
They only need to score 1 goal though to keep it to tie it up. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you. I agree with both of you. You have to go in and score early, and that's what Bayern would have done if Harry Kane had 3 more inches.
Man, listen. Like I said, there's a reason Harry Kane is a Spurs legend.
Wow.
You feel me? Like that's you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? There is a reason. There's a reason he's a Spurs legend. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, was it last year? I mean, Bayern got pretty far last year, and they were almost a joke last year, low key. I mean, semifinals, I think too, right?
Last year? Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think they made it to the semis last year.
And we got it.
But they pretty much changed coaches like midway through the season.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, company doing it for the culture, right?
Nah. Hey obviously I'm rooting for company, but I there's something about playing like Italian teams and knockout Champions League competitions,
especially playing them at home.
Yeah, especially when you have to go beat them at home.
Yep.
Like it's tough. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they can play out or draw very well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, very well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They know how to get a draw. So
like it's them and like Atletico Madrid. unless and see, Atletico Madrid #1 kryptonite is Real Madrid. Unless they're playing Real. You know what I'm saying? Everyone else they can play haram ball against. For some reason, they choke every time they play Real. But that's neither here or there. I agree with Daniel. Bayern going to the San Siro needing to win. Good luck, man. Good luck. I don't envy their position. Their best bet would have been to take an Inter out of this tie, like at home.
Well,
like take them out of it at home.
Here's what I'll say, and this will kind of just be the opposite of that. If and this is what I mentioned to Daniel earlier, if there is a team that will come back or could come back and win, it's going to be Bayern. Forget the goals on aggregate. I think Bayern is going to have to play the best defense that they've played all season. That you cannot let
which considering the fact that they have a lot of injuries to that back line, I am not hopeful of.
But
like they were playing Conrad Leimer at right back this game, dog. Like
and they scored 2 goals, and they probably that last one. The first one was a thing of beauty. I'll give you that. The last one was a complete lapse of defensive mentality. But to that credit, right? If they can score at 1 goal, play defense the entire game, or just play defense the entire game, right? And then get 1 goal towards the end and go into extra time and possibly penalty kicks, I'm taking Bayern. I think they got better penalty kickers than Inter, in my personal opinion. Harry Kane is probably top 5 best penalty kicker in all of Europe.
Harry Kane is top 5 best penalty kickers in all of Europe, except when it matters. Right? My man be banging them shits in dead rubbers. When you tell that dude, hey, yo, you need to bang this shit in for your team to go to the final. You need to bang this shit in for your team to win the chip. You know what I'm saying? Then he turns into me out there. You know what I'm saying?
This is only the quarterfinals, though. It's only the quarterfinals. So it's not even the semis yet. Harry Kane, it hasn't gone fully Harry Kane yet. Okay?
Oh, man.
But given how this game went, yeah, I mean, the favorite is going to be Inter, clearly. But don't count out Bayern. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, no. I see. Yeah, I'm not going to count them out. But like,
it's going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah, that part. It's like
I'm gonna stick with Inter for my prediction for this matchup.
Honestly speaking, I'm gonna stick with Inter too. Like I think after that first leg, because in order for this to be like a Bayern type of tie, they should have won that first leg. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they need to carry an advantage to the San Siro. So for me, I'm gonna pick Inter.
I'm sticking with Bayern. Let me look at the injuries that they currently have.
Like most of their back line is hurt, dog.
Coleman, Davies, Musala. I mean, is there any chance Davies or Coleman comes back?
Nope. Davies is out for the season. Probably so is Coleman. Like there is no shot.
Davies now re-signed recently, right? Because it's
he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah. He re-signed.
Pavlovic.
Ito. Like Upamecano is out. Ito is out. Manuel Neuer is out. Davies is out. Like they are bare bones in defense, bro.
Manuel Neuer being out actually may be a good thing, if we're going to be honest. He has not looked good.
Well, you're fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Again, really.
Yeah.
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 All right. Well, we'll see. I'm a stubborn guy. I picked Bayern initially to win. I'm still going to stick him out, but
that's fair.
I am what's the term? I am not scared. I am just concerned.
Okay. All right.
We're going to need a hell of a game from Leroy Sané. That's all I got to say.
Good luck. Good luck. Because listen, this isn't like the Leroy Sané of like 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like gradually declined.
Yeah.
So good luck. Yeah, good luck. Good luck. Good luck.
All right. Well, next match. This has been these last two are going to be a thing of beauty because these are two of my teams that I predicted to probably end up in the finals, but we'll see what happens. PSG to say they beat Aston Villa, I think is an understatement. They completely outclassed them in every single way, but to be fair, Aston Villa did score a goal. We're going to have to give that to them.
Yeah, consolation.
They did that, and it wasn't Leon Bailey who scored. So take it as
you know, Eddie. I was going to ask you, were you conflicted at all? You know, with,
no, I am.
Your countryman, Leon Bailey, playing against
Leon Bailey is my dog, you feel me? But they refuse to put this man in the starting lineup, right? In big games. And it showed. It showed. They are so stuck on, you know what? Let's go ahead and put in freaking Marcus Rashford, who hasn't done shit in the last 2 years, right? Let's put him in because his name is Rashford. Right, and let's see if we can just run all over them. Now, to be fair, Rodgers did his thing. I still think
Rodgers pretty much first name on the team sheet.
On the team sheet at this point, yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but no, I mean, I wasn't conflicted at all. I mean, listen, PSG all the way. But no, once I saw the lineup, I was like, okay, we're not going with Bailey. All right, game over.
True that.
Yeah.
But can you? All right, but you guys, give me your best case scenario for an Aston Villa comeback.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I can't. Like PSG has been the best team of like this like knockout stage of the Champions League. Like whatever Luis Enrique is doing, like he need to keep doing that shit, dog. Like so many of these dudes.
He's unlocked his potential.
He has unlocked everything for that team, right? And like I'm looking at their lineup right now.
By the way, I gotta say it. Like Luis Enrique has been one of our coaches.
Yeah. I
That's my camera.
Like the stint where like he came in at Barca and like basically like figured out like how to make like the whole like Messi, Suarez, Neymar thing work for us while like suddenly like changing like how the team played was like really like top level stuff. But this PSG team, man, and like they didn't even have like a Barcola came off the bench today.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, they're just talented, and it's not just talented. They have guys in their primes and young and hungry,
and young guys.
This isn't like the old PSG teams where they'll just have a couple overpaid stars or
right.
Kind of like
that old PSG team almost went to the finals last year.
You know what I'm saying? Washed up players.
And they went to the finals 2 years before that against Bayern. Should have won, but okay.
So
ALL shoulda, woulda, coulda, all of that.
That's
about what's happened. So you guys actually have a chance to finally do it this season. Because for a team that's had the investment that PSG has had, obviously, you guys should be winning the Champions League or at least making the finals a lot more. Yeah, and I think, that this is probably like if Arsenal knocks out Madrid as expected, I think PSG is probably going to be the odds-on favorite along with Arsenal.
Technically, they're the odds-on favorite right now, according to DraftKings. They're the favorite.
Right. So
I
like
mean, maybe like after this, first leg, Arsenal, because I think it's kind of hard to like until someone dethrones Madrid. I believe Madrid has always been the odds-on favorite to win the Champions League. I mean, their history, all of that.
You're talking about Real?
Yeah, Real Madrid.
No. The odds-on favorite to win even before yesterday was actually PSG. They were 3-1 odds-on favorite, and I think Real was like 5-1.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey,
yeah.
I think once PSG beat Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
Initial favorite to win. That's when the odds have sort of shifted.
That sort of shifted in PSG's favor. But yo, like I want to talk about like some of like my favorite players on this team. Man.
Please go right ahead, please.
Can we talk about City's new transfer?
No, without no.
Let me start by saying, like,
I keep that kid warm for us, man.
Oh, Doué, possibly the next City's striker, number 9?
Nah.
We don't need a number 9, bro. Like, Doué's gonna be on the wing or attacking midfield for us.
Oh, okay, true.
I think he's eventually gonna end up in attacking midfield. I think like that's kind of where like his future projections are. But he's so good. Like just to imagine that he's what, like 19 still, and like for him to have like that level of like just technical security, like ability to strike the ball off both feet cleanly, you know what I'm saying? And like
reminds me of somebody,
bro, and like. And then to add to that, the fact that like he has these very quick feet, so he's able to put defenders off balance constantly, going either way too. He can put you off balance going left, put you off balance going right. Like just crazy talent. But
basically Doku with the end product.
With end product, pretty much.
You know.
No. So even Doku isn't this 2-footed. Like Doku's very 1-footed. Like Doku would go right foot, cut back to the. It's like nah, like this dude will hit you right foot. Like, if you lean too much, he'll come back left side.
To like
dribble
and put defenders off balance with his dribble.
Right.
Doku tries with both feet, but again they're just not very good. But let's focus on Doué.
Desiree Doué, 5 goals in the last 4 games.
The crazy thing is, I believe he was a Rennes with Doku when we were scouting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was.
Came out with Doku instead of Doué. I'm like, bruh, like what is going on with City scouting? Like
So Doku was the main man when he was at Rennes, right? Like Doué was still coming up. And so, like, I can understand him not wanting to take a punt on a guy that's like still like it's like, oh well, he has potential, but
he was
like we must have to go for the proven.
Like 21, so they're like a year or two.
We
paid 50 mil for him last year, and even I was like, 50 mil kind of is a little bit much, but because for 2 reasons. One, I was like, how are we going to play this kid if we already got Dembele and Barcola as our wingers, our main wingers, right? So I didn't think he was really going to see the field, but now I see the vision that they had, especially Enrique.
And you guys have Kvara as well. Like I'm telling you.
Well, that came later though. That came later. So
I'm just saying in general, like currently you guys just are stacked with
nobody.
I still wouldn't have played Doué over Barcola. Honestly, like if I was making the lineup today, it would have been Barcola, Dembele, the best center forward in all of Europe. Who knew?
Listen,
and then KVA on the opposite side, but. You got to play the kid. I mean, he's just been that clinical.
He's just been that good. He's been that good. He's been that good.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And listen, y'all know that there's no bigger fan of Ousmane Dembele in the world than me. Oh man, listen, I love me some Ousmane Dembele, and I love that he
You
is
were happy for him to leave
finally.
Barcelona.
No, so I
Y'all
thought he
everybody
needed to
hates
leave
him.
Barcelona. No. I thought he needed to leave Barcelona because I didn't think he was going to become like the player he could be at Barcelona. I think
I
there
agree.
was already too much baggage there.
I
You know
agree.
what I mean? Like, just they were trying to fit him into a system that maybe didn't quite work. You know what I mean? Like, even for like somebody as talented as he is, like there were some constraints with what he could do. And then also it
I
seemed
think the
that like
injuries. I think the injuries
for
was
whatever specific reason,
The injuries
just
too. Yeah.
him in Barcelona, whatever it is with him and the medical staff or whatever, like the injuries were crazy. He's actually been able to turn that around with
yeah.
PSG now.
Hasn't been
That's
injured
the
at all his
surprising thing.
entire
Yeah.
time here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
But
healthy.
like I am happy that he is finally hitting the heights that we all thought he was going to hit when he came out of Dortmund.
Dude,
Right? Like
he's
it's
surpassed that now though. Like he's
bro.
putting
It's
up numbers that you and I probably would have never predicted when he came to PSG.
so the thing
20
with
goals.
him,
He's leading like what?
so the thing with him has always been this. The talent has always been there.
Yeah.
What you questioned was the health, but also like the decision making.
And the
And
finishing.
so it seems like both of those things. But see, the finishing was also decision making. He was taking shots from places he shouldn't have been shooting from.
True.
Right. And so, like, now that he's fixed both of those things, he's healthier now than he's ever been in his career. And he seems to make the right decisions more times than not. Now, I think the decision making part, or the streamlining of the decision making part of that is on him. I think part of that is also on the instructions he's getting from Enrique, right? Where like he finally has a coach that's like, yo, these are the exact things I need you to do when you have the ball in these areas, right? And like that's finally paying dividends for him. But I am super happy that he is finally living up to his potential. Because when he came out of Dortmund, I thought, yo, this dude was a superstar player, had the type of talent where you could be top 5 player in the world. And I think he's finally showing that. Right. And so that's amazing. But I need to mention 3 dudes that like probably should get a lot more love than what they get. Right. First one is Vitinha.
Oh,
bro.
Sir.
Vitinha's the reason why Xavi never saw the field for PSG.
Bro. Vitinha. I don't know how it's possible that you can have such a high volume passer, right? That rarely loses the ball and rarely makes a bad decision on it. Like, listen, that dude is a one man, like possession machine.
Yeah.
Like you play the ball to Vitinha, 2 things you know are going to happen. He's not going to lose the ball and he's always going to make the right pass.
Yep.
Like it's crazy how unerring his play is, dog. Like, and like
Silva.
Yeah, bro. Like he's so good. He's so like this team doesn't maintain the pressure that they maintain like in the opposition's half, if not with Vitinha. Like the amount of work he gets through recycling possession is just crazy, and like he rarely ever loses the ball. You can't press him off the ball.
You can't.
And he's always making the right decisions. So
every single time. Yep.
Hats off to that guy, dog. Like, cause like the flashy guys are gonna get all the plaudits, but Vitinha allows those guys to do what they do.
Yeah, and João Neves, you know, he'll steal a couple assists here and there.
That guy.
We haven't even
gotten to
him yet, right?
That guy too.
20 years old, right? Again,
that guy, man. Listen,
like Xavi Simons,
listen.
It will never see the fit. Well, he's gone now, but
he's gone now. Yeah, dog.
Is a great player.
I hope the third person you're gonna mention will be Nuno Mendes.
That's that. No. So the 2 people I was gonna mention. The 2 people that I was going to mention, one of them is Nuno Mendes, who has been playing out of his mind. Listen, him and Alejandro Balde, for me, are the 2 best left backs in the world. You can't tell me nothing. I am not hearing any conversations about it whatsoever. Those 2 levels. Levels. Nuno Mendes does everything you want your fullback to do. Nuno Mendes like can cover an entire wing by himself if you need him to. Nuno Mendes will mark whoever you need him to, right?
Yeah.
And then also have the energy to then sprint forward and like carry the ball into like attacking phases.
He's the second fastest person on the team, in my opinion.
Excellent fullback. The third person, Achraf Hakimi. Achraf Hakimi, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Achraf Hakimi, yeah, has quietly been building the case for being the best player in his position, like for a while now. You know what I'm saying? Like there are some guys that are like better offensively than him. Like you could make the case that like Trent is better offensively than him, but Trent is not as good defensively as Achraf Hakimi is.
Right.
Like just having the model of a complete fullback. And I think the main difference between him and like Nuno Mendes is that like Achraf Hakimi can like play inside, he can play outside
midfield. Like
he's probably a better. If you want to make an argument, he's probably. I mean, he may actually be a really good midfielder. We just never seen him play it.
I mean, do you guys see who you have in midfield? He doesn't ever have to play. He doesn't have to ever do that.
Oh, true.
You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean? Like yeah, but yeah, like those two guys are probably the best fullback combination any team has in Europe. Like I can't name two better fullback combinations than Nuno Mendes, Achraf Hakimi. You know what I'm saying? Like
they shut down the entire offense of Liverpool.
All of it. Liverpool couldn't get a sniff. Liverpool could not get a sniff, dog.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
And guess who didn't even play today? Marquinhos.
Marquinhos didn't play today. Yeah.
Marquinhos is pretty much the old man of the squad now.
No, he is. No. He is for sure.
Facts.
He is for sure. But no, like
I just gotta say, PSG's team, I am envious of your squad,
bro.
Like I look at it, it's just like exactly what I hope my team, like the plays that I hope would be playing for my team right now. But
our bench, like Lucas Hernandez, I mean, is still a very good player. You know, I mean, like
Lucas Hernandez is a good player.
Emery,
Warren Zaire Emery is going to have his time. Like that kid is too good to be like a bench rider for long. Like Warren Zaire Emery is going to have his time, bro. You know what I'm saying?
He might have to go out on loan, like with all the talent in front of him. But
I mean, listen, all I'm gonna say is this: Arsenal is looking for a left 8. Warren Zaire Emery, you know what I'm saying? We could hold him for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, let him come through next season.
He's only 19 as well. You know. Yeah, we got some young kids now. We got some dogs, bro. And he's under contract to I think 2030 maybe. So like, yeah, I mean, I can see him I can see us loaning him out, honestly, because our midfield is just way too. I mean, listen, we had to get rid of Colin Mulani. I mean, we couldn't play him. He was unplayable.
Well, he was also underperforming.
He was underperforming with you guys. Yeah.
So
I feel like he could have worked it out because I thought he was pretty decent last year, honestly. But
But, one thing I gotta say about PSG, shout out to the culture change and like the direction change that happened the summer. After
Mbappe.
Once they decided to like, it's time for the Mbappe shenanigans to end.
Right.
Will he leave?
Was it our decision or was it Mbappe's
blah,
decision?
blah, blah. Like, that had been running for like, and I think that low key affected your performances, in the Champions League as well.
Yeah.
It was just way too much uncertainty. And the continuous flirting with Madrid. And that was distracting. But the switch that you guys have made into like, focusing on young up and coming players rather than, the previous PSG transfer strategy, which was pretty much buying the best players in the world, offering crazy money, without thinking about fits. I think having Enrique in there, who's a tactician, who knows how to build a squad, and focusing your transfer strategy on up and coming players and fit, that's changed everything for PSG. That's why I'm actually more confident about you guys winning the Champions League now, which
Yeah.
Previously,
This
I would just laugh and PSG, they're not gonna do it. Like
here's my
regardless of who you had.
I'll respond to that in two different ways, because I think you brought up two different points that I think are very valid. I'll talk about the culture shift and then sort of like the plan, right? So the culture shift definitely happened when Luis Enrique came in, right?
Yep.
He came in with the plan. He I guess talked to management, was like, listen, I need these types of players. And to your point, no more buying these or transferring for these high profile players like Sergio Ramos. I mean, I remember when we brought him in, I'm just like, God, like this is not the Sergio Ramos that I remember back in college. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, and things like that. Like the Messi contract was just incredibly insane. But yeah, the whole culture shift. Now, to your second point, here's where I kind of feel like I enjoyed the Mbappe years, especially the last 2 years. Now, not last summer, but the summer before that, right? Where everybody thought he was going to leave, right? When he came back, I was like, all right. I think PSG knows that he is not going to be in our long-term plans. Okay, there's no amount of money that's going to keep him here. He really wants to go to Madrid. So let's try to build a team sort of around his skill set. And that's when they brought in Dembele. That's when Barcola got a little bit more shine. And they really adapted the team to him, right? That he was no longer coming down the middle like he was when Messi and Neymar were there, right? So they were kind of like a sort of shifting the whole front for him, right? And we were so close. Like we almost made it work last year, right? A couple, and Chuck, you were at my house. You saw how many damn balls hit the goalpost. You know what I'm saying? Like, if those balls went in, we would be having a whole different conversation right now. We would be talking about defending chance PSG, all right? Because I felt they were that good last year. If you would have told me losing Mbappe and getting better would have been what happened, what was going to happen this year, I'd have been like, there's no way. I never would have foreseen Ousmane Dembele being as good as this. I would have never thought we would have got KVA. I thought we were all in on trying to bring in old guys like Chiril and Mobley, or probably giving a bag to Barcelona for Lewandowski, because that's just how PSG has done in the past, right? We get these high profile older guys. But the focus and the culture shift that Luis Enrique has brought has just worked out so well, right? And honestly, this may not even be the best we've seen PSG play yet. They actually may be better, and that's scary.
I believe you.
You
guys are young enough to get better. So
that's the scary part about this team, is that like they are probably not even playing to like their highest capacity yet,
and they haven't even lost a game this season. In league play, I think they lost maybe one in Champions League.
In Champions League, the one they lost was to Arsenal.
The only
hopefully we don't play them next.
the only downside, and this is, in my opinion, what's always been an issue for PSG, is throughout their domination of the French league.
Lack of competition.
I feel like
the lack of comp
sometimes in the Champions League is because they just don't face enough competition. To keep them sharp enough for the Champions League. Now, you guys are playing a lot better in the Champions League this year. So, I mean, the coaching and the talent you have on your roster is definitely making up for it. But I just feel like, previously the issue was because you could coast through like your domestic league, not being challenged, while, teams in Spain, Italy, England, they're in 3-4 way battles, for their domestic league.
Yeah.
So they're sharp, by the time
Yeah.
I'm glad he didn't
and they're
name
also
Germany.
tired a little bit, but they're mostly sharp, mentally. And they just know how to get through the knockout stages. But this year, mad props, and I'll be watching. Hopefully you guys finally make it happen this year. But
I hope so, man. Like I thought last year was the best year possibly to win it. This year, although Arsenal does scare me, I think we will be the favorite against every other team to play.
The funny thing is, I think you guys are favorites against everybody except maybe Barcelona, and we'll get to Barcelona.
Yeah, let's get to Barcelona.
You know what? Let's get to Barcelona. Okay, so let's start this off because I have to do with every single matchup. Give me your best case scenario for Dortmund to come back.
There isn't. They got smacked 4-0. This tie is officially over.
Oh yeah. Done.
Yeah. It's done. It's finished. It's finished. It's finished. I mean, to their credit, right? They played decently in the first half. They probably could have, scraped a couple goals, but
yeah, I mean, like you're saying, like Dortmund got a lot of shots in. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they just don't have the attacking firepower to keep up with a team.
Yeah, they don't.
Because even Barca, who were notoriously inconsistent, let's be quite honest, the last few years, like you almost never know what version you're gonna get. The one is gonna batter you by 4 goals or concede 4 goals. But Dortmund is like, they're kind of like one of those teams where I just don't see them like taking advantage of, even when a team like Barca is having a down game,
having like an off night,
like an off night defensively, for them to just go out and smack, Barca, like put like 4 goals past them. So they just don't have the firepower.
Yeah,
they're going to have to get 5 or 6 past them because I mean Barca's
and that's not going to happen.
No, and they're going to have to do that while also not giving up any goals on the other end, which is definitely not going to happen. Because listen, Barca have the current Ballon d'Or favorite Rafinha on the squad.
Is he?
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just.
That's crazy to hear.
He may be right. No, he actually may be right.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy to hear, but if you guys win the Champions League, it's very, very real.
Although that doesn't matter anymore.
Listen. Okay, so
it would have to matter.
What I will say is, in a year that doesn't have like an international tournament, Champions League definitely matters.
It didn't matter last year.
Yeah, but like last year was the Euros and like every other international tournament that was happening last year.
Yeah. I mean, we saw the crying over Rodri. Obviously, Spain won the Euros. Vinny cried himself.
Vinny was
no.
It is what it is.
Vinny was raw.
Vinny was pouting, bro. Like listen.
I don't know about
he was so hurt. He was so hurt that he didn't even show up to the ceremony. And I'm just like, bro,
Madrid threw a tantrum, yo. They
threw an entire fit, bro.
I would have too.
Through an entire fit.
The entire time, Vinny. You guys, all right. Let's stay on topic.
Yeah. Let's stay on topic.
Okay.
Rodri won it fair and square.
So.
Whatever.
So
no, but hold on. But to clarify something that Chuck did say. So yes, Rafinha is actually the favorite right now.
Boom. There we go.
According to Poly Market, Rafinha is at 30% chance. Ousmane Dembele, who knew? 15%. Jamal, 15%. Lewandowski.
So I guess because Salah and Liverpool didn't make it far enough in the Champions League. He's out of contention.
And here's the thing: Salah was never actually in the top 3. Now, at one point, it was Rafinha, Lamine Yamal and then Ousmane Dembele back in early March, but then Dembele passed Yamal.
Pass Yamal, yeah. Nah,
And then
man.
Lewandowski's actually been the one that's been gaining the most speed, and he was at number 3 at one point. It was Rafinha, Dembele, and then Lewandowski, but then Yamal is kind of moving on up. And then Mbappe has been cruising at number 4.
Yeah,
although I guess that's going to change after Real gets kicked out, though.
Yeah, honestly, even if Madrid won the Champions League this year and Mbappe continued the way he had played all season, I don't think he would have deserved it. He hasn't had
and he wouldn't.
Season.
Yeah, he hasn't had a good
you know
season.
what I'm saying? I sometimes I feel like, and I don't want to go into last year's and stuff like that. Sometimes when players play for Madrid, individual stats start to get rolled into team
the team success.
Which makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, of course. If you play for a Madrid team that pretty much wins the Champions League almost every year, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't make you the best player in the world, bro. You just happen to be a good player on the best
on a really good team. Yeah.
Is that an indirect shot at Karim Benzema, or you're just saying?
I'm not gonna call out anybody specifically. I'm just saying that it seems.
He's just saying it's a Real Madrid thing. No, it's a Real Madrid thing.
Players who play for Madrid, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? They've had great teams. I mean, they're the most successful European club ever. And honestly, I don't know if their Champions League record will ever be beaten. So they're just they're just what they are. But I feel like other teams' players kind of they lose some shine going up against the Madrid's stars.
Yeah.
And the favorite now has changed. I just want to mention that. So it was PSG. It's now switched to Barcelona at 32% chance. PSG at 26, and Arsenal has moved up. Arsenal actually was at 3rd place. No, sorry, 4th place, and they've now
4th place, moved up to 3rd.
They're up to 3rd, and they've moved past Inter and Real. Real actually was, of course, the favorite. Of course.
Yeah. But yeah, no, back to this Barcelona team and the wonders that Hansi Flick has performed this year, man. If you watch this team last year, because it's roughly the same players, right? Outside of Dani Olmo, who isn't even playing right now, it's roughly the same collection of players.
2 weeks ago, right? I thought he had 2 goals, a couple.
No, he did, and then he got hurt.
True.
Yeah, that's basically the story of Dani Olmo's career. He's healthy for 2 months, then he gets hurt, then another 2 months he's healthy, then he gets hurt. You know what I'm saying? So but this is functionally the same team that Xavi had at the end, bro. Internal development is crazy, man. But this is functionally the same team that Xavi had towards the end of his tenure, right? And Hansi Flick has been able to sort of reconfigure the team, and he is getting the absolute most out of guys like Rafinha. He's given Rafinha a role that is tailor-made to all the things Rafinha does well.
Bruh,
you know what I mean?
Kubarsi as well. Really, low-key Kubarsi been
trying to get rid of him. I was hearing about Barca offering Rafinha last year because he really hadn't set the league alight, really. And
so those rumors were true.
We hear you.
Hold on, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, so those rumors,
by and large. What the?
All right, hold on. Give me a second, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's continue the conversation about Barca. I mean,
Yeah. So as far as Barcelona, one of my favorite storylines about them, obviously with the financial issues they've been having, to still find a way to stay competitive with the issues they've had. I mean, it's been very impressive, and
yeah,
it kind of speaks to like this um, like team building. I'd say a dichotomy, really, or like difference in strategy um, at top clubs. Do you just have to spend, you know, on great players, or splash the cash, whatever, to stay competitive, or can you look internally? And in Barca's case, they've had the best academy in Europe, for pretty much
the longest time.
pretty much all my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like they have a famed academy, you know. Uh so, I feel like this embargo is, I mean, not they didn't have a transfer embargo, but kind of like
But they had no money. I mean,
self-generated issues, you know what I'm saying? Being broke.
yeah, I
Really.
mean, $1 billion in the hole, right?
Exactly. Being broke has forced them to, like, and just like Chuck said, pretty much the same team as last year. They've had to rework, their strategy and that culture change, similar to, like, what we talked about with PSG. But in Barca's case, that's basically because they just didn't have the money. But they've had to, like, hone in on their young players, or even making smart transfers, like for young players, like bringing in guys like Pedri,
Mm-hmm.
who's probably one of the I consider him probably like top 5, top 10 midfielders in the world right now already.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, like, sometimes these guys are never too young. Like, if you find the right ones, put them in the right coaching, system, and right environment for them to develop. And we're kind of seeing it paying off for Barcelona.
I mean, yeah, I absolutely. I mean, Yamal, I think he joined La Masia like at like when he was like a child,
Yeah,
right?
he's been there for a while.
Yeah, Balde, uh, who else?
I think did they buy Gavi? I think they bought Gavi as well.
Gavi, yeah,
And
they bought him at 11 years old, I think, and
okay.
but because he came
So
out of
so he's
Real,
pretty much a
yeah, but he came out
veteran.
of technically to give props to Real Betis. He actually came out of Real Betis first, if I remember
Mhm.
correctly. Yeah, but yeah, no, yeah, and of course, legacy players like Messi, um, but yeah,
Oh
they have a really good academy. Oh, I think Kabarsi was also
yeah, Paul Cabarsi. Did he come from? I think no. I think they bought him. I think they bought Cabarsi because I remember they bought him for like dirt cheap as well from some. Uh,
but he must have been very young though when they got him, right?
uh, no,
Let me
no.
see.
Yeah, I don't
Let
know.
me, let me pull it up. Kabarsi, yeah, Kabarsi's only 18. And well, yeah, he played with Barcelona's B team.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but I think no, you're right. He came from Girona.
Yeah. Yeah. He's from Germany.
Yeah, but he did come up in their youth academy though. Fermin Lopez is another one that came from Real Betis
Hmm.
as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, but just players like that who they had to spend the bag on, who've all at some point, at least now or last year, have produced at the main level. I mean, that's just remarkable. And you really, they're second to none, quite frankly, as far as their youth academy and what they can bring. Um, and we haven't even touched on players that they've actually have bought, like Lewandowski. I mean, is on pace to have 50 goals in all competitions this year. He's fourth in Ballon d'Or projections, and he's like the third guy on the team that gets mentioned the most.
That
How
is true.
insane is that?
That is true. And you know, I think there's also a thing about Lewandowski because he's been doing this for so long. And he's been consistent for so long. It's just like, you know, it kind of goes without saying when it comes to him. He's gonna score goals. Like that's just it. Like Lewandowski, he can score, he can get you 20 goals in the league, no matter what league. You know what I'm saying? Like basically with his eyes closed. Like, you know, that's just what's in him. So
he scored
when
two
when you pair it with how well Barca is playing this season and how well their youngsters are developing and creating more chances for him, you know, with guys like Yamal, you know, Rafinha, you know, like you know, he's in a perfect situation. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really surprised that he's still banging in goals, you know, and props to him. Like, you know, I think obviously he's been able to stay healthy most of his career, so that's never really been an issue for him.
He doesn't have to track back, you know.
Yeah, exactly. and exactly. And he's in La Liga, you know, the game, you know, not that fast paced.
Not that
when I watch him. So it's a good fit for him. And I mean, one thing about Lewandowski, he also performs in the Champions League. So he's not one of those strikers who just bullies, like, you know, domestic leagues and, you know, doesn't know what to do in the Champions League. But, you know, I think he's one of the top scorers in the Champions League this season. He might
I think maybe the top. Yeah. I think initially coming into he had 11 goals in 10 games.
Yeah.
And
so
he had 10
and that's pretty much Lewandowski. I think, you know, all time he's probably top 5 all time.
I didn't know that.
I don't know. Like I think he's at least active players. He's definitely got to be top 3 because it's just Ronaldo and Messi, if I recall.
I think Benzema would have to be on that list too, just for how long he played. Benzema actually Lewandowski just passed Benzema, so it's Ronaldo number 1 at 141, Messi at 129, Lewandowski at 105, Benzema at 90, and Raul Gonzalez at 71.
Yeah, look at that. Like, you know, that's freaking impressive. You know, and you know, for somebody
Lewandowski has done it in the least amount of games, mind you. He's 3rd with only 130 appearances.
Like, dude is a goal machine, and he's kind of like an understated, you know, striker. Like, when it's all said and done, he needs to be talked about as one of the greatest strikers of his generation.
Definitely, probably one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, his numbers just speak for themselves. Like, you know, it's just like, and you know, he's done it obviously in Germany and now in Spain. So
and
Dortmund, he can do.
He did it at freaking Dortmund back in 2013.
I mean, he started from Dortmund. So.
Yeah, he had 10 goals for Dortmund one year. It's just crazy. 15. This guy has been a Champions League legend.
And the thing is, like, when he went to Barcelona, a lot of people were thinking, you know, this was like a retirement tour for him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he got tired of Bayern and probably wanted to like go to Barca and kind of ride into the sunset, really, because I mean, Barca wasn't really competitive.
Don't he spend like 40 mil for him? It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think he also probably had like a year left on his contract. He was gonna run it down anyways. He just wanted to go to Barcelona, and that was pretty much the only club that he wanted to play for. So I mean, it's good to see him still, you know, making it happen. Barcelona looking good. You know, now I'm like, you know, even more excited about the semifinals. based on the teams that, we think are going to make it. So, yeah, you want to run down, the semifinals matchup and we can
well, here's the thing about FIFA this year, or at least the Champions League this year, is that we really don't know. I think they're going to do another draw.
So
it's a little bit confusing.
Yeah, they used to have one side of the bracket, kind of like going through to the finals. But yeah, you're right. I think there might be another draw after the quarter, which doesn't really make sense. But it is.
Let me just double check the website real quick because it's very weird. Bracket view. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to assume no, because see, look, they even have this all. Yeah, I want to say that it's going to be another draw. I will give you the possible semifinal matchups though. It's looking like it's going to be. Hold on, sorry. No, it's not going to be. We're not going to know. It's either going to be actually, sorry, we do know. It's going to be PSG against Arsenal or PSG against Real. So we can pencil in.
That makes sense now.
Yeah, so we can pencil in pretty much PSG against Arsenal. And then assuming Barcelona gets through, it'll be Barcelona, of course, against Inter or Barcelona against Bayern. So I guess it will be Barcelona against Bayern.
Yeah, so that means
Barcelona against Inter, right? Are we? Well, you think Inter is going to get through, right?
Yeah. So it's going to be a Barca against either Inter or Bayern. So
okay.
So yeah, that makes sense. But I think I was going to say what matchup would we be more excited to see? And obviously, it's going to be the PSG Arsenal matchup in the semifinals. And I mean, that's both of your teams, and Chuck's not on the call, but it would have been interesting to hear his side of things on who he thinks would come out on top. And but yeah, that would be a very, very exciting matchup. I think both teams are going to make it.
I agree. Unless some craziness happens where like 5 guys get injured before that game, and I don't think there's any. Yeah, I don't think PSG plays until then. Yeah. I mean, we could pencil that in. I'm still not sold on Inter getting past Bayern. But either way, I think Barcelona is going to be the favorite. Mm-hmm. You could probably make an argument for Bayern to beat Barcelona. That's a hard argument to make, just seeing how Bayern played today. But I can see you making an argument for that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still not like a clear cut or clear shut, tie that Barca would win that matchup. But I think Barca would be favored, regardless of who comes out of that matchup between Inter and Bayern.
Yeah. And actually, I don't think any team plays in between the next Champions League. Actually, no. So check this out. Bayern doesn't play until their next Champions League matchup. Inter has to play against Cagliari on the 12th. So just keep that in mind. They may not be as fully healthy or as well rested as Bayern.
What's Inter's current position in their Italian league?
It's tight. Last time I checked, yeah. So they're up. They're at 68 points. Napoli's at 65. So I'll be honest with you, Inter can't.
They can't
lose. Napoli's right on their tail.
Yeah. Yeah.
And both teams have not lost in the last 5 games. That's why I'm like Bayern has a chance here.
Oh no, they surely do have a chance. I mean, I just think it's gonna be a tough ask, and just knowing how Italian clubs playing in the latter stages of the Champions League, it's gonna be tough. You know, having to go there and win to go through when they already have basically they have a lead. They're defending the lead, so
a 1 goal.
Yeah, so you have to come out attacking from the jump, and you have to score early to open the game.
Now let me just look at just for kicks and giggles. Let me look at Barcelona and PSG. I know for a fact PSG is probably not going to play just because Ligue 1 has made it pretty much known that they want a Ligue 1 team to win the Champions League. And so the PSG does not play again until they play.
Must be nice. Hey, see, that's why you guys are even more favored. So you better take advantage of it.
Hey man, listen, don't hate the player, hate the game, right?
Sure. I hate neither.
And Barcelona actually does have to play again, but it doesn't matter. They're playing against Leganese, and then they'll play against Dortmund. So and it doesn't matter. They can play 2 games in between and probably still will destroy Dortmund in Dortmund. So so let's keep that in mind. So it's going to be interesting. Those semis are going to be fun to watch.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right. One last thing. Let's look at Arsenal, just to be fair. Oh man, where is it? Arsenal is still in FA Cup, right?
No, they're out.
They're out. Okay. So Arsenal has to play Brentford. Although to be fair,
they have nothing to play for.
They have nothing exactly. Absolutely nothing to play for.
The league is gone. This is the only, title or cup that they have a chance at winning. So I think they're gonna go all out for this, and they've never won the Champions League in their history, by the way. So they need this just as much as PSG does. So
So if anybody's want to go out there and place a bet, I would place a bet on Brentford to win in a couple of days. Real has to basically play hard. They play Alaves, and they are 4 games behind Barca.
4 games or 4 points.
4 points behind Barca.
Honestly, Real should probably. I think they're gonna go all out to try to turn this tie around. But once they get knocked out, as I expect them to, they're probably gonna focus on the league and try to chase Barca down.
Yeah.
Because they need to win something.
Don't count out Real though. That strange things always happen.
I'm a City fan. If there's one person who knows about Madrid, I've literally seen them turn around, beat us, turn around pretty much a 3-goal lead in seconds left in the game. So I know about Madrid, but hey, this was a very good, very very good chat. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, man, no problem. We'll catch up after and when the semis come around. Unfortunately, Chuck had some technical difficulties, so he was unable to finish with us. But man, appreciate you as always, and we'll chat in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir. All right.
See ya.